Hi everyone, my name is Nargis Nasreen and we are here to solve another question on SQL, and today is the 34 of solving 100 questions on SQL. So the question we are going to solve today is employee and manager salaries. And this question got asked in Walmart, Best Buy and Dropbox. So let's quickly see what is the question. So the question is find employees who are earning more than their managers. Output the employee's first name along with a corresponding salary. So this is a very common question which get asked usually in companies during interview. So let's see. First, let's see how's the table so that we can understand this question better. So we have this table where we have ID, first name, last name, other columns, salary of the employee. So this ID is the employee ID. Okay. Then we have one more column that is called as manager ID. So for every employee, there is a manager allocated. That manager is also an employee. So for example, ID 5's manager is ID 1. So an employee whose ID is 1 is the manager of ID, some employee whose ID is 5. So for employee 1 as well, there will be some manager ID. Okay. So everyone is an employee, and out of those employee, few are managers that are allocated to other employees. Okay. So what do we have to do in this question? We have to find out employees who are earning more than their managers. And we have to output their first name along with their corresponding salary, that is how much they are earning. Okay. So whenever we get this type of question, where we have only one table and we have to compare the columns of the same table, we try to solve it using self-join. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the same concept of self-join, where we are going to join the table by itself. We are going to create two instances of the same table, and then we are going to join it on some column. Okay. And then we are going to output the answer. So let's see how we are going to do it. So let's leave the column names for now. We are going to write down select from employee E. So we are going to assume that one table is of employee table and another table is for managers table. Okay. So we are then going to join employees table with the manager table. Okay. Join employee M. Let's assume that this is manager's table. Okay. So in employee table, there is manager ID. In employee table, there is ID, manager ID, and salary. Again, in manager's table, there is ID, manager ID, and salary. Right? So in employee table, we have manager ID. And in manager's table, we have ID, which is the manager's ID. Right? So we are going to join on what? We are going to join on E dot manager ID is equal to ID of manager's table, because it is going to match, right? Because our first table is of employee ID, where we have employee's detail and its manager's ID. Then we have manager's ID, we have the ID of managers. That is why we are joining on these two columns. That is manager ID of employee table and ID of manager's table. So this. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's print E dot first name, E dot salary, M dot first name, and M dot salary. Okay, let's print it. So see, so for John, the manager is Katie, and this is John's salary, and this is Katie's salary. Again, for Monica, this is salary. Again, for Monica as well, Katie is the manager, and this is the salary. Okay. Now we have to find out those rows where the employee salary is greater than the manager salary. So we have to put condition here where E dot salary is greater than M dot salary. Right? Now let's run this. So we are getting this. We have one record here. That is the person, employee name is Richard. His salary is this one. Richard's manager is Ellen, and his salary is this much, which is less than Richard's salary. Right? Now what we have to print? We have to only print output the employee's first name along with their corresponding salary. So we have to only print this much. Okay. Now let's run this. So this is what we are getting. Okay, so this is how we have solved this problem. So this, whenever we get this type of problem where we only get one table and we have to compare some columns within the table, we use self join. Okay, so here as well we have used self join, and then we try to understand on what columns we have to join. Okay, you have to first understand like what is the meaning of those common tables that you have created. For example, here we have created two same tables, but we have assumed that one table is of employee and second table is of manager, and then we have joined it on the columns which are required. That is the manager ID column of employee table and ID column of manager's table, and then we got the records. Okay, so now let's see the expected output. So this is the expected output which is matching. So now let's submit our solution, and our solution got accepted. So this is how we solve our problem. So if you get any question, you can ask it in the comment section. If you have more solution to this problem, you can ask that too in the comment section. I hope you understood this video. If you like it, keep liking. Do not forget to subscribe. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.